Hi everyone. It's early in the morning, Thursday, and I'm getting ready for you to have a sub tomorrow. And so if you are watching this video right now, it should be because you are right here on step 3 of the Satire and Paradox Learning Adventure. So you are ready to learn about oxymorons, which is actually a term you've probably heard before and you might even be pretty familiar with. So your job throughout this video is to take notes. So you need to make sure that you have your yellow note packet, all right? And you can pause the video whenever you need to stop and fill out the note sheet. So we're going to start in the definition box, which is right here, all right? And I want you to write down the definition of an oxymoron. Remember that anytime you see red, it means that you should take notes in your packet. So right here is the definition. An oxymoron is a figure of speech in which contradictory terms appear together. Two terms that mean the opposite of each other are paired together. There are several examples here, and notice that it says to pick 3. So again, on your packet, right underneath where you put the definition, you can now put 3 of these examples. Deafening silence, jumbo shrimp, act naturally, open secret, terribly beautiful, beautiful disaster, awfully good, clearly confused, living dead. A couple of my favorites, I think act naturally is a pretty awesome one because people do say that often, and it is such a contradiction because if you're being natural, then you shouldn't be acting. So they're opposites of each other. I also hear people say awfully good quite a bit, and that one's kind of just, when you really think about the definition of awful, it's the opposite of good. But calling something awfully good, typically means that it's super good. But anyways, when you think about the technical definition of awful, that's what makes it a oxymoron. Clearly confused, that one's funny too. I think oxymorons are a lot of fun. So anyways, write down 3 of those examples. And then I think this is a great little example of an oxymoron that was actually, a flyer up on a wall somewhere, and they're advertising for clean dirt. Now, there's truth to that. Clean dirt probably means that it's been filtered through, and anything that's not dirt was taken out of it, right? So clean dirt meaning this is like pure dirt. But the fact that they paired together the word clean with dirt makes it an oxymoron, and that's funny. So one of the things that you really need to notice about oxymorons is that there is a truth to them. Like, they are words that are opposites of each other, but putting them together, it makes sense, and there is some truth to be found in that oxymoron. We're now going to move to the bottom part of the front page of your packet, this fill in the blank spot here. Okay? And again, you can pause this if you need to have more time to write in the notes. But we want you to think about the meaning and the impact of oxymorons. So oxymorons are used to make us focus on something specific that the author wrote. Oxymorons use contradictions to create better, more clear picture, or to create humor. Oxymorons are similar to paradox and satire because they often use humor and contradictions to reveal truth. So, we might challenge you to make your own oxymorons at some point, or you might just want to do some on your own when you're doing writing assignments for ELA or social studies or whatever. So there's kind of a technique to creating oxymorons that you can use. And the technique is to combine an adverb, which is a descriptive word, awfully, terribly, beautifully. Notice the endings, they all share the ly in common, all right? Combine an adverb with an opposite adjective. So an adjective would be like good, awesome. terrifying. Or you can combine a positive or negative adjective with an opposite noun. So you could have a beautiful disaster. Disaster is the noun. Beautiful describes disaster. Okay? Sweet sorrow. You're taking something that's negative, sorrow, and you're using a positive word to describe it. Wonderful pain. All right? I think about with wonderful pain, like back massages. If you go to a massage therapist and it's like, it hurts so good. That's wonderful pain. We're just going to take a look at this poem for a second. We're going to ignore the timer. We don't need that. But this poem here, your job is to identify the oxymorons. Our job is to identify the oxymorons in this poem. And so it says on the side here, how do these oxymorons help create images in your mind? It says, why then, O brawling love, O loving hate. Loving hate. Oh, anything of nothing. First create. Anything, nothing. That's weird. Oh, heavy lightness. Serious vanity. Mishappen chaos of well-seeming forms. Feather of lead. Feathers are usually light. Lead is usually heavy. Bright smoke. Cold fire. Sick health. Still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? Can you guess who probably wrote this? Anyways, what kind of images come into your mind when you hear some of these terms? You know, I think about feather of lead, and I think, geez, they're talking about, I think they're talking here about love. This love feel I, oh loving hate. So maybe he's describing love and calling it a feather of lead. You know, there's times where love feels really light and easy. And then there are times when it's like, okay, I'm doing this because I love you. And it's kind of a drag and it's kind of difficult. So that kind of makes sense to me. Same thing with like heavy lightness. You know, like that's the same kind of idea. Like, yeah, same idea. Oh, loving hate. It's interesting. Is there some hate sometimes in love? Oh, brawling love. Do people fight when they love each other? Yeah, I'm picturing lots of different things right now. What are you picturing? It says, pick one oxymoron from the lines on the left. Describe what it makes you think of and what you think it means. I kind of did that out loud with you, but if you want to stop and do that on your own, you can do that too. Otherwise, I think that is all I need to go through with you for this station that you're at. You're on number 3 right now. So you watched the video, you took the notes, and now you can move on to step number 4, which is the scavenger hunt. All right, please continue to be good for the sub, and I will see you next week.